Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have on Ryan Dominguez from the band Tokyo Rose. We talk about becoming a father through adoption, going from being a musician to going back to school to being a teacher, how they got the band back together after 20 years, being a New York sports fan, going to baseball games with his son, what's different making music as a teenager versus it being in your 40s, playing shows and reconnecting with fans, and how he found time to be creative and write new music. Tokyo Rose's new album, Never Say Die, comes out on July 24th. Make sure to follow their Instagram, Tokyo Rose NJ, to find out information for where to buy the album and where to see them on tour. Just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad. Hey, Ryan, welcome to an episode of The Imperfect Dads. Thanks so much for doing one.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Sorry it took so long to get on.
Oh, listen, man, are you a teacher? Is that right? Like your day job is a teacher?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're in Eastern Standard Time. I'm on Mountain Standard Time. So like, yeah, no, man, like, when do you normally go to bed? Like, what's your normal bedtime?
You know, we try to lights out at like 10:30. If my wife's also a teacher, so it's like we're like up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So now that it's summertime, I'm like, oh yeah, this makes a lot more sense as opposed to me being like, hey man, I know you worked a full day. You probably dealt with interaction all day long, got home, tried to connect with your wife and family. Now talk to a stranger half across the country. Let's do this.
It's all good, man. It's there's so many threads to relate on. So
Yeah. What? How long have you been a teacher for?
kind of on and off for the last 15 years. You know, I took a couple years break. COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of came back to the classroom a little bit after COVID when, life came back.
Yeah, that makes sense. And my friends who were teachers during COVID, I was not surprised when some of them decided to change careers, going from like 2020 to 2022, just because it was a lot. So yeah, totally. It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the kind of great reset or reassess button, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I honestly, so I have three kids. I have a 10-year-old daughter, 8-year-old daughter, and almost 5-year-old son. And my son was born in 2021 because of us sitting around and being like, hey, are we done? And like without COVID, I don't know if we would have slowed down enough to be like, hey, are we done growing our family? So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how many books are written about the time of COVID and how everyone's experience was just so freaking drastically different.
Yeah, completely. You know, I remember when World Cup was previously, they had like ads. I think it was like Heineken showing ads, like people having babies and stuff, because football.
Yeah.
Right. It's like how much of life is because of COVID now,
Yep. Pretty much. Are you much of a soccer fan?
So I married into it. I married a girl from the UK. So, kind of married into Liverpool supporting.
That is the correct answer. I'm also a Liverpool supporter. And whenever your wife wants to hop on and talk about the coaching change that just happened in the last week, let me flag her over and that'll be great.
Absolutely. It's been a whirlwind, the last 18 months.
Yep. It has been. Do you, one of my favorite things about soccer or watching soccer is it's such a chill thing to watch in the background while the kids are around. Like it's not like football and basketball, like, every 10 minutes, man, there's a commercial break or something like that. And my kids are living for the commercial breaks. For soccer, they kind of they just hang out. And I'm like, I like this so much more than the weird overstimulation that comes with commercials.
So true. So true. You just kind of like lose, it kind of just fades into the background. But then when commercials hit, you're just like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much all that sensory stimulation. It's like being in Vegas or Atlantic City or something.
Yeah. Or Times Square. I mean, Times
Square.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's also I think I'm good in Times Square for like 30 minutes. Then after 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm good. This is a lot.
Good for life. Yeah.
Basically. Have you
Yeah.
always lived in Jersey, or have you ever lived anywhere else?
I've lived in Jersey, pretty much my whole life. We traveled a lot with the band, and then also kind of migrated through like job change and school stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But mostly Jersey, yeah.
Nice. Did you? I'm trying to think. What would your timeline be like? Were you in the band, then the band kind of took a break, and then you went back to school to like learn how to become a teacher or anything like that?
That's exactly it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a day job is helpful, man. Having consistent income and health insurance is not a bad thing. So,
Not at all. Completely necessary. I was just talking with my wife. I'm dealing with an injury that I had sustained when I didn't have insurance.
oh yeah,
So I didn't know I had a broken foot.
oh,
Actually, it happened on tour, so I like lived with it since then.
yeah.
I had this limp. It's kind of like what's his Kevin Spacey's character
Oh,
from
Kaiser
Usual
Soze. Yeah,
Suspect.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like sometimes I can pretend I don't have it, but it always kind of wakes up and different times, and it's like, oh yeah, this happened because of that.
Yep. Yep. And I'm sure it's great whenever, because I know you're getting back into the habit of like playing shows and playing music, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure you go
Yeah.
on stage and you're like, let's go full energy. And you're like, never mind. I'm going to jump on one foot a lot for this song.
Totally, man. It's funny, being on tour, for like long weekends and playing with bands who are half our age or, a few years younger. It's like they can really go hard. I have to like rest. They can play probably, 10 shows in a row, and I
Mhm.
need a nap
Yep. Yep.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the Beach Boys play once while Brian Wilson was still alive. And Brian
Hmm.
Wilson basically just parked behind that piano and just didn't move the entire time. And you know what?
Yeah.
Backing band carried the energy. Everyone sounded great. And I just looked at Brian and I was like, you're probably exhausted. So yeah, just sit down, man. You're
Right.
good. You'll be fine.
Yeah. You're good. Rest on your laurels.
Be good. What I
Yeah.
haven't asked yet, how many kids you got, ages, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we have one. He's newly 10.
Mm-hmm.
And he is I was telling somebody earlier today, he's like a handful of joy and another handful of challenge, but
Yeah.
aren't they all?
Yeah.
And totally worth it. He was born in 2016. So it's like we had considered whether or not to, he's adopted. We were considering adopting again and growing our family that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when COVID hit, kind of the world just,
Yeah.
everybody hit pause on everything. So yeah.
Can I ask how old was he whenever you adopted? Like what age was he?
Yeah. 2 days old.
Oh, okay. Dang. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very young.
Yeah. Yeah. We, he was born, and then 2 days later, he came home with
Cool.
us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can I ask what like the path to adoption can be a lot. Do you remember what yours was like? Do you remember of like the emotions and feelings around it, or what the story is with that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we met kind of, I was like in my late 20s. It was after the band kind of fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a bit older than me. She's 5 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And we got married, and we were like, okay, we want to start a family because we were a little bit older, and it didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
So then we both separately had adoption in our minds and in our hearts. And so we just, after being married for 5 years, we were
Mhm.
like, okay, let's pursue this in earnest. And went with a local adoption agency here in Jersey, and the rest is history.
Dude, that's so good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you pick up your child at the hospital? Like, was it one of those scenarios?
Yep.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
we met him. He was born on a Thursday. We met him on a Friday morning,
Yeah.
and we came back and took him home, brought him home on the Saturday morning.
Dude, that's so cool. And I think stuff like that's crazy to me because now like he's been part of your life for like 10 years. So like it's even weird for me having 3 biological kids to try to remember what I felt like 10 years ago, going to the hospital with my wife and like driving home. And it's weird how something that was such a big moment of your life is now just like an everyday thing. Like, oh, it's just good to hang out with him upstairs. Like I'll probably be annoyed with him for
Totally.
not cleaning his room now. That's what like reality looks like
Right.
now.
Absolutely. You said your oldest is 10?
10. Yeah. She was February of 2016.
Okay. Yeah, and it's, I mean, it seems like ages ago because
Hmm.
it's just I can't remember life without him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think fatherhood is so fascinating, however you get to it, because like, I don't know anything else that's ever happened in my life that changes it so much. Where it is like, boom, now you're a dad, your identity is this. And like, there's not a lot of things in life where like just overnight you're suddenly this and you're all in, or hopefully you're all in. And that's just your
Hmm.
identity going forward.
Totally, totally. The process of um, approaching adoption, you kind of have to make a profile. It's like an online profile, and then you kind of make this book of your life,
Hmm.
and it's a lot like online dating.
Yeah.
Like you kind of put in, your parameters for who you're hoping for, and you're like putting your best foot forward, like kind of like online dating,
Yeah.
and then unbeknownst to the child, like they get the real you. And it's been, kind of like, wow, I was this on paper, but like you said, like instantly it changes
Yeah.
overnight.
Yep.
And you're kind of like, even if you're not that best version of yourself, like that's who you try to be and that's who
Hmm.
you aspire to be. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And like, no matter what, like how you get to fatherhood, like if it is day 7 or 8 of your kid not sleeping through the night and you and your wife are trying to figure out how to communicate and be kind to each other while there's a screaming human in your face.
Right.
Yeah, no, kindness is hard to come by. You just, hopefully respectful. That's like, I'm going to try to be
Right.
respectful. And I know I'm not sounding nice in anything I say. I'm so damn tired.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And that, like, that apology, however later on it comes, can soothe many wounds.
Yep. I'm sorry what I said whenever we hadn't slept for 3 days in a row and it was
Right.
4 a.m. and it's because like, I don't know if you remember this from your kids being younger, but like whenever they do sleep through the night, some part of your brain is like, oh, they have the ability to do this. And then you're like,
Right.
you can't bank on that, man. You can't guarantee that. Stop it. But like you internally, you're like, this is going to be every night now, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like, no,
Absolutely.
it's not.
Shifting gears. You're like, ready? Nope.
Yep. Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
And even still, like I feel like my kids will wake up in the middle of the night, maybe someone was spooked during a dream, or some kid just like gets in your bed and you're like, wait, what's happening? Okay, you're here now. Okay, cool. I'm gonna roll over and go back to sleep if that's cool. So
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's like, this is just my existence now. Like, I used to have, a queen bed. I used to be
hmm.
half of a queen bed,
Yep.
but now I have like this, I'm holding on with fingernails to the end that I don't fall off.
I think when we had kids, we quickly upgraded to the king size bed because we had a dog at the time. So our dog would jump in the bed. And then like, yeah, if you're cuddling in bed with your baby, then it's just like, well, I don't want like this have more space and stuff. So yeah,
Right.
we made
Totally.
that call. Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Does
for
your
you guys.
Has your son started to I know my 10-year-old daughter, her need for independence is like great. Where I thought that would be more like 12 or 13 to be acting like a preteen and stuff. Already at 10. Well,
Hmm.
also she has 2 younger siblings she has to deal with. But like she's already like, how do I get my own space? How do I get my own stuff? Has your son started to venture into like this desperate need for identity or independence yet?
A little bit. I feel like it happens more earlier with
Hmm.
girls.
Yeah.
Because he has a lot of friends in his school class who he's been in school with for the last 3, 4, 5 years,
Hmm.
and it's like the girls have definitely needed that space sooner.
Yeah.
He's still kind of like, we have a couch and technically there's 3 seats, but he's always sharing my cushion, you know, for some reason.
And yeah, you're there and you're like, hey man, there's a whole other like half of the
Yep.
couch. Like, do you want to sit over there at all?
Yeah. Do you want to scooch a little?
He's like,
No,
yeah. And
I'm
then
good.
then he scooches closer to you and you're like,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think
Totally.
that's definitely one of those things where it's like your parents or people will be like, oh, enjoy it because it won't last forever. And some part of you is like, "I- is it a bad thing my son who is 10 won't sit in my lap? Because I'm kind of okay with him not sitting in. Am I going to miss
Yeah.
this?
Right. My leg falls asleep when he sits on my leg.
As well as he's cutting off circulation. Like a 10-year-old boy
Yeah.
is not like a 20-pound. It's like it's a person.
Yeah.
Like it's a human.
It is a person. Yeah. He's I think he's 6 inches shorter than me now.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been this same height since I was his age,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Okay, cool. That's so average, right? Average height?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He always finds like he loves baseball, so he always finds when there's a baseball player who is my height, and he's like, "You're the same height as Jose Altuve." Like, I'll take it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Just so you know, the rest of our body is not the same. Just as a
Yeah.
heads up.
Yes. Exactly.
I'm 6'4", so yeah, I'm like average starting height for an NBA point guard. And my kids are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're like that tall," and I'm like, "Yeah." So the coordination and skills that they have are things that I never would have known how to develop at any point in my
Absolutely.
lifetime.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Does your
Were you?
yeah? Go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
I
go
see
ahead.
the soccer jersey behind you.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm a fan. Yeah, that's for I lived in Nashville for 18 years. So that
Oh,
was
cool.
for the their MLS team. It's a bunch of players signed it. So,
Very cool.
yeah. Do you guys ever cuz I guess do you go to any MLS games or any soccer games in town? I guess you have to go across the river or something like that, right?
So the Red Bulls
Yeah.
are in New Jersey. We've been to a couple Red Bulls games, and so we're Mets fans,
Oh, yeah.
and they're building the NYCFC stadium right next to Citi
Oh,
Field.
yeah.
So we might convert.
Gotcha. Yep. That makes sense. Are
Yeah.
you guys going to try I know pricing around World Cup tickets is freaking insane. Did you guys even try
Insane.
to get any tickets, or were you just like, I have to pay my mortgage. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, that's exactly. We're like we can go around for some of the outdoor events maybe,
Yep.
and try to sneak into those because everything is shot up through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless, because man, I haven't scalped a ticket in forever, like, where you
Mhm.
walk around the stadium and stuff. But I'm like, now that everything's digital, like, how would this be like? Can I walk around a stadium and scalp ticket? I don't know how this works anymore. I'm too
Right.
old to figure this out. I'm good.
Totally. Yeah. You have to like touch your phones together. Is it gonna
I don't
beam?
trust this.
No.
No, I'm just already admitting my old man energy to be like, it's technology and I'm not going to trust it. It'll work. Not to me. It won't.
Yeah, not to me. Without like sabotaging my bank accounts and stuff.
Pretty much. Yeah. No, I'm excited for the World Cup. I think my kids are used to me making them watch a lot of soccer games during the summer, where now they're just used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. World Cup, and you have the Euros. You have Champions League. You have Premier
Yeah.
League. Everything's
Yeah.
happening. So
It is. It's really fun. Tell me a little bit about like getting the band back together and everything. Because did you guys break up like in the late aughts and like in the past year or two, right? You guys got the band back together.
that's right. Yeah, we played our last official tour was the winter of 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with Bayside, 4 Year Strong, and Stray Light Run.
Oh, nice.
And I remember this very vividly because one of the last shows we were in Providence. Half the guys in Bayside are now from New England at that
Mm-hmm.
point, and we're watching the Giants, complete the
Oh,
upset against Tom
yeah.
Brady and the Pats.
Uh-huh.
And we're kind of, we're having a good time, but like we're like they're devastated because they're just like the Pats were undefeated
Yeah.
and the Giants, So yeah, that was kind of the last hurrah for the band.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we kind of all went our separate ways. Some the other guys like still played in bands in that time, but I
Mm-hmm.
kind of hung them up.
Yeah.
And went back to school, and life happened. Like we all got married in different times, and now I stayed in Jersey, in North Jersey. Our drummer Sean was still in North Jersey, but then our bass player Chris and our guitar player Matt are in like outside Philadelphia, Eastern PA.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we kind of were all doing our own things. Like we'd like message on Facebook maybe once in a while, because we were very MySpace. Like I don't even know if we had Facebook, like transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
There was no such thing as a Tokyo Rose Facebook page, except for a band, like a band fan page.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we like, we like texted and stuff and Facebook messaged. But it wasn't until the summer of 2024 that a buddy of ours, a guy by the name of John Damiano, who fronts the Emo Night Karaoke
Mm-hmm.
group,
Yeah.
was like, he reached out. He's like, "Hey, have you guys ever considered doing a reunion?" He's like, "I know all these Jersey bands have started to do their reunions, you know."
Yeah.
And we were like, no, we like life has kind of moved on. We never like fully shut the door on
Uh-huh.
it, but it was just kind of yeah, we just reached out. We're like, "Hey, is this still your number? Because this guy reached out to me online. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do a reunion? Like, I'll help you like set it up."
Yeah.
And he did. He helped us set up a show kind of like around Thanksgiving in 2024.
Mhm.
And one show turned into kind of a weekend of sold out shows. And
Oh,
then
cool.
we kind of just got back and we were like, "Hey, this is really fun. Why don't we try to do it a little bit more?"
Mhm.
And then friends from the West Coast reached out who we had toured with like early on in Tokyo Rose's career. And they were like, "Hey, we want to come out east," because we got back together.
Yeah.
And so they did some shows out east, and then we flew to California, did shows with them out there.
Nice.
And then that was in 25. Same thing happened in Chicago area with Park and Junior Varsity,
Mhm.
who had gotten back together recently. And then, yes, we have had a couple more shows since then, a few shows in Jersey and in Philly. And then we had like a handful of dates with Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Which is very cool. You know, those guys, we've always kind of bumped into them, but never really did any dates together outside of Warped Tour.
Mhm.
You know, they were on like main stage Warped Tour, and we were kind of in the smaller stages during those years. And it was really cool to kind of reconnect with those guys and play some shows.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I think it's really cool. Like, so many bands are doing like what's funny to me is because like I just saw the Format like a month or two ago, who also are
Awesome.
doing their like 20 da da da, and
Yeah.
I'm almost like, well, now like like if you come and tour, like I have money to pay for your tickets. Like 20
Right.
years ago, whenever I was 19, 18, like if your ticket was
Yeah.
more than $20, like I couldn't afford it. So like
Yeah.
it is cool because like yeah, if you're going out to play shows now, you have people who've probably listened to you on and off for 20 years and are like, man, I never got to see Tokyo Rose play a set. And then a friend is like, hey, remember how we used to listen to this band all the time? Do you want to go see them together? And they're like, oh, hell yeah, let's go do that. So I love the culmination of all this energy. A lot of bands are able to step into it. And
Hmm.
yeah, man, it also then makes you realize that like the music you made matters. So that's also a
Totally.
phenomenal thing.
Absolutely. It's been, so encouraging. It's something that we did in our 20s,
Yeah.
never thought that anybody would, kind of get lost in the mix.
Yeah.
And the fact that people, like I said, there was a Facebook band fan page, and it was like, oh, people, because we
Yeah.
thought like when MySpace was done and we
Mhm.
were done, it was like we would just get lost in the ether.
Yeah.
But it was cool. So then we got to do a 20th anniversary of our most popular album
Mhm.
from 2005. And that was really cool because the record label that put it out was like, hey, like it would be really cool to put it out, but it would be awesome to like give the fans a little bit something extra.
Yeah.
So we had a couple tracks that never made it on the American release that we
Yeah.
got to tack on to the vinyl, which was really fun.
That's so cool. I genuinely just love like for a lot of bands like you guys that you can look up and realize the impact that you had. Because I'm a big fan of like the Get Up Kids, all these bands where like at the time you guys didn't get the respect, and then like you started to have families, you all kind of took a break or went in different directions. So like to watch so many of those bands from the Jersey scene, from Kansas City scene, get back together, and people would be like, "Yeah, I've loved your music for 20 years," and like yeah, you have stuff like Facebook now, Instagram, where fans can actually communicate a little bit easier versus like, yeah, MySpace. No, I wasn't in any fan pages on MySpace.
Right. Totally. Yeah, no, it's been really cool. And then like to play shows and have people be like, hey, like I never got to see you,
Yeah.
or like my uncle who's, 10 years older turned me on to you
Yeah.
guys, but again, never got to see you. So
Mhm.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to talk to Andy Jackson from Hot Rod Circuit.
Hot Rod.
Yeah,
Nice.
man. And he was talking about how like, yeah, he like they'll go and play shows. They're starting to put some
Mhm.
music out and stuff. And like he'll watch like generations of fans of his music. And he's just like,
Mhm.
wait, so there's people in their 40s and in their teenage years who like my stuff. Like it's just so cool.
It's very cool, and big props to Andy. I mean, we love like we are huge fans of Hot Rod.
Yeah.
And then when he did Terrible Things with
yeah. Fred.
with Fred, who's been a dear friend of ours for many years.
Yeah.
It was very cool to see them kind of resurface.
Yeah, it is. And like, I imagine all you guys or some of you guys are in like the same boat of like getting back together and just like, I don't know. if you guys are healthy and get along well enough when she can play some shows, how lucky is that? So some of it is just like,
Hmm.
here's this moment. If you guys still like each other and you can remember how to play these songs and you can play a show,
Right.
that's awesome, man. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really cool, to like go through that old stuff and, bury whatever hatchets there could have been. Time definitely heals a lot of those wounds.
Mm-hmm.
But then to like get to write new music
Yeah.
too, that's been really fun.
Yeah. How was it to like get back into that mentally? Because like, I mean, you've got a kid now, you work a full-time job, which being a teacher is not that casual of a job. How was it to get
Right.
back into creative mental space to be like, hey, I'm going to start writing songs again?
Yeah, I think it was just really being intentional about like setting aside time,
Yeah.
trying to write a little bit each day, trying to, spend a little bit of time just like fleshing out music.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been creative, in
Yeah.
many years. So to like dust stuff off from the vault, and then to like remember how to play my guitars,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because a lot of us, will like have gotten rid of that stuff,
Yeah.
you know. A lot of guys these days too, like travel with like a really small rig,
Mm-hmm.
a really small digital rig. So like
Yeah.
just trying to like get that all working, making sure it like, there's integrity to it.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah. I think Jake Snyder from Minus the Bear said, because they took a pretty
Mm,
long break, he sold a
yeah.
bunch of his pedals because he was just
Right.
like, all right, man, I'm switching modes basically. And like, I've just
Right.
got all these pedals sitting around the house. And now he's like, I wouldn't have sold all these
Right.
pedals.
Totally. Totally. And now those pedals are, I just watched this video on My Bloody Valentine
Yeah.
and their rigs, their rigs were like in the 10,000s back
Mm-hmm.
then. So now they're like worth like 40 and
Mm-hmm.
50,000 to try to
Yeah.
get those same pedals and all the
Yeah.
processors. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
I can feel that.
Also, as someone who like studied music business, recording nerd, all that stuff, like I hear what you're saying with like you're trying to figure out how to tour, play shows now with what the modern age is. Whenever like in my head, it is a half stack, you got the Marshall head stack, you got an orange head stack, you got 20 pedals in
Right.
front of you, and you're playing a
Right.
200-watt amp in a venue that holds 200 people. And it's like
Right.
you actually don't need this much power anymore. But some part of me feels like that's integrity. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
you're fine. Like adapt, you'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Exactly. My back thanks me for going digital
Yep.
every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, man, yeah, because I have some friends who, yeah, their pedal board is like a legitimate road case. It's a briefcase that probably weighs 100, 150 pounds and has like
Yeah.
a self-contained power source also inside of it, stuff like
Right.
that. And I'm just like,
Absolutely.
this is a lot.
Yeah, yeah. The band from California that we toured with back then and did a couple dates with out west, Beautiful Mistake. Their bass player played guitar for many years in a couple other bands,
Mm-hmm.
but he uses the same exact rig for bass. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's almost like two pedal boards,
Yeah.
and like the bass version of each pedal board
Yeah.
of each pedal. So he travels with both of them. It's huge. It's bigger than like the Edge's pedal
Yep.
board.
Yep. Dude, that's insane. That's cool. I have always stayed away from guitar pedals a lot. I try to just buy an amp in which I trust the sound of it
Hmm.
because especially having 3 kids, like I'm not going to,
Yeah.
how do I convince my wife like, hey, need another $300 pedal? And she's like, why? And I'm like, cause it's pretty. It's like, that's
Right.
not, I don't know. I could probably figure out how to have that conversation, but I don't, I feel silly even saying it in this moment, you know?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I've kind of gotten that way with guitars. I like downsized massively, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of accumulating more, just to
Yeah.
like be able to have that
Yeah.
specific sound, especially going into the studio.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just found like I really like semi hollow bodies. So I have to not
Mm,
Google search semi hollow bodies too much. Cause like I only have a Telecaster semi hollow body. So I don't have a Gibson semi hollow body. And it's like, Devin,
right.
stop it. Don't stop
Yeah.
Googling it. Stay off Facebook Marketplace, man. You don't need this.
Oh man, I was on it today, like looking at a Les Paul with P90s because I've never had a Les
Oh,
Paul with
yeah.
P90s,
Yeah. But what if yeah, and it's interesting because like in my head, I think the lie I can tell myself is, well, if I had this guitar, what could I create? And it's like,
Right.
you've already got cool stuff, man. Just try it with
Yeah.
what you got. Like do that. So I don't know if you run into that ever, but sometimes I'm like, well, if I just had this pedal, if I just had this guitar, think of what I could do. And it's like, you can already do it with what you got, man.
Totally. It's all there, who was saying that? I was talking to somebody else last night. He's like, as many pedals as you get, a lot of it's still in the fingers, right?
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah. How for like writing new music, how did you find the mental space to do that? Would you like plan time in the morning, time after like kid went to bed or something like that? How'd you actually figure that out?
Yeah, we're at a point in our like marriage where like we have different shows that there's some
Yeah.
shows that we have to watch together on
Yep.
time, but then we have different shows, and my wife loves Grey's Anatomy, which is still going.
Yeah.
So she'll have a backlog of Grey's Anatomy to go through, and I'll just I'll have an hour maybe once a week to just like really
Cool.
just sit with headphones on, just trying to put stuff together.
Okay. Yeah. Do you normally what is it since it was kind of a dormant part of your personality, what did you have to get back into the rhythm of doing more? Was it just playing guitar on a regular basis, or because I'm assuming you write all the lyrics as well?
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both,
Okay.
just like making sure my hands aren't getting tired,
Yeah.
and then um I recently got a jazz master
Oh,
because I was
nice.
like, I really want to kind of update my playing and make it
Hmm.
more modern slash Midwestern.
Hmm. Yep.
And,
Yep.
so doing a little bit of that with the Grey's Anatomy time slot,
Yeah. Yeah.
or, writing lyrics too. It's like, ooh, like I'll write something and then I'll send it to our bass player. Like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I know we're like an emo band, so this actually isn't a breakup song. Is this too political? Like
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
bounce off ideas off them more, because it's like I forget how to write a good song,
Yeah.
and he's a really good sounding board.
Nice. Well, it's funny to like now that I'm 39 and like normally the lyrical content I'm looking for, I listen to a lot more Americana writers. So like
Mm,
Jason Isbell, Josh Ritter, all these guys really
right.
singing more about like the hardships of everyday life. Like I'm not
Totally.
looking for a breakup anthem anymore. Or if I
Right.
am, my life is really falling apart. So like
Yeah.
I know it's out there if I need it, but like have you felt any of that yet where you're like what lyrically what you feel in tune with is so drastically different than whenever you were 20 years younger?
Absolutely. And being a dad, like I'm a boy dad,
Mhm.
but like a lot of times if I'm writing like like a song with romance behind it, it's like I want it to be something that, not that I'm like demonizing anybody,
Yeah.
but that I'm like kind of writing from the lens of like, what if I was that girl's dad?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
how would I want her to be described? And
Mhm.
yeah, and I think a lot of like again, a lot of the best emo and pop punk and best songs come from heartbreak.
Yeah.
A lot of art comes from pain.
Mhm.
The best art comes from pain. But I think pain comes in different ways, right?
Mhm.
And people experience pain in different ways, and whether it's from just everyday life.
Yeah.
I think without. I was talking with some other guys, who are like reuniting and stuff, and they're like, "Well, like I don't want to write about like getting a colonoscopy, even though like we're like."
But that's your real life. Yeah, yeah. And also you
Yeah,
should
that
get
is real
one.
life.
It's very responsible to get one.
Absolutely. Very responsible, especially like in the mid 40s age,
Yeah,
the
legitimately
earlier the
should.
better.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's like, how do we write about everyday life
Yeah.
without it being so blatantly silly?
Or just isolating like so many like yeah, if you can figure I feel like the only way to do a colonoscopy song would be to make it super jokester. Like super like
Right.
sarcastic and like man, this is my life today type of like energy, but like
Right.
that's I love some niche song stuff. That's a little too
hmm
much even for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's to I think the band that has done it the best in our kind of genre is the Bowling for Soup,
Oh
because
yeah,
like they
absolutely.
have
Yeah.
taken it, and they've taken it, overboard, but also like it's still really catchy,
Hmm.
you know, and
Yeah.
really fun. Like they're still doing it, so
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yep. They are. But no, that's, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I've been married for 13 years now. I've been in relationships or in the same relationship since 2008. Like, I'm not like pining after a girl. And I'm not like a girl's not breaking my heart. I'm not like, it's not the same. Whereas, like, I always loved emo music in like the early 2000s because, like, I felt like there were bands that were saying, like, get the girl back. I never had the girl. Like, how do I get a girl to
Right,
notice me in the first place? So, like, all the boy
right.
bands and stuff were like, I need you back. And it's like, she never noticed me. How do I I can't have her back. So
Totally. Totally, man. And it's there are different ways to write those yearning, those
yes.
longing songs.
Hmm.
And maybe it isn't at this stage in life, maybe it isn't the girl, it isn't the relationship. Maybe it's like financial freedom or,
Yeah.
like the freedom to do like what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a slight,
Yeah.
a slight twist.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to much David Bazan, like he was Pedro the Lion, or he is Pedro the Lion?
Not since Pedro the Lion.
Okay. He
Yeah.
did Pedro the Lion for a long time, and then took
Yeah.
a break when he deconstructed religion super hard and did David Bazan like solo stuff. And has this one, and
Okay.
now he's back to doing Pedro the Lion.
Okay.
But he has this one album called Care, which is just about everyday life stuff. Like literally,
Hmm.
one of the songs is about him had like basically it's like him and his wife both end up at the kitchen during the daytime and the kids are out of the house, and they're both just like, oh, I didn't expect to run into you right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
mentally I'm somewhere else, but I like you and I would like to connect. So let me mentally shift. So it's like those moments, which are to me, that's real life. As you walk up and you're like,
Oh yeah.
oh, you're getting coffee right now. Oh, I'm also getting coffee right now. Oh, I
Yeah.
like you. You like me. Oh, you have to run to a meeting. Okay. This was
Right.
connection. Okay, cool. This is different than I ever thought it would look like.
That's awesome. I love that. I think my wife and I, our kid plays little league, so he has like practices like almost every night of the week,
Yeah.
or games, and it's like, oh, we have like an hour and a half hour to kill. Like, why don't we just like get an ice cream and
Yeah.
sit and look at the water and
Yeah.
just reconnect, and it's like a little mini date an
Mhm.
unexpected mini date.
Yep. I'm a believer of those moments more than big moments. Like I love doing a fancy dinner. I love going on a big trip. Like that's awesome. That's cool. I got 3 kids. That's not realistic for me to do on
Yeah,
a regular basis. So I love the
absolutely.
everyday moments where you look out like we do our best like at the end of the day whenever kids are in bed, meaning like in their beds but not asleep still for like 3 hours,
Yep.
to like not turn the TV on until we've at least asked a little bit about each other's day. Cause it's so easy just to turn on the TV and not talk and just be like, we're good,
Absolutely.
right? I'll turn on a show. We'll be fine. And it's a
Yeah.
lot of intentionality to not lean into the comfort that can come with that.
100%. Absolutely. It can just be so routine
Yeah.
that you got to step out of it to connect and
Yep.
to really like retune.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty much. But it is
Yeah.
also really fun to be at a point in marriage in which she's like, I need to watch Grey's Anatomy. And you're like,
Yep.
cool, I'm going to go play guitar for an hour. And you both are like, this
Yeah.
is good for both of us. Go do it.
Yes. Absolutely.
How's it feel to be like a baseball dad? Did you grow up caring about baseball or sports at all? Seems like your son's really into it.
Yeah, I grew up a Mets fan, so for better or for worse,
Yep.
it's kind of made me who I am. And yeah, we're just he's like super into it. He's like into stats and stuff and loves playing it. He knows more stats than I do at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So our summer vacation, we're both teachers, so our summer vacation is going to be going from Jersey to Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and then Cincinnati and Chicago, seeing baseball games, and then some art galleries and architectural tours and stuff in
Mhm.
between, seeing family as well or
Yeah.
old friends, but mostly around baseball.
That's cool. Have you ever done an architecture tour in Chicago? Like where you go in like the river and stuff? It's actually really
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, that's what like a dream of my wife's.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna do this summer in Chicago, and then I get to go. We get to go to Wrigley on the 4th of
Yeah.
July.
Yep. Oh, dude,
And
that's
then
cool.
yeah, very cool. And then the Obama Presidential Library is open,
Oh, nice.
and my wife got us tickets for my birthday. So
Dude, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you spent much time in Chicago? I love Chicago. I grew up in Indiana, so like
Okay.
we would go there. Like I've been to Lollapalooza. We would go there like every other year, something like that. So Chicago is like one of my
Amazing.
favorite major cities. Yeah.
I haven't spent too much time there. I mean, I've played many shows in Chicago and the surrounding area in the suburbs.
Yeah.
But no, not too much time. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
see what we'll find.
Yeah. If you do, the last time I did an architectural tour where you get on a boat and you go like through the city and stuff, it's like you
Yeah.
do a tour of like I don't call it canal, the river. I'm not sure. There's a correct term that Chicagoan will correct me on. And then you go
Okay.
out on Lake Michigan and you see like, the pier, you see the skyline and everything. And then you come back in and it
Sweet.
is I feel so old, like looking forward to those things. But you know what? It's cool. It's legitimately cool.
Absolutely. I mean, my wife is a huge Frank Lloyd Wright fan, and
Okay.
she studied architecture in undergrad, so it's very much like, yeah, it's a dream. So, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna enjoy it because she's gonna enjoy it so much.
Yeah. And if you're going to Wrigley, like Clark and Addison is kind of where Wrigley is. And like Clark Street is like
Yeah.
filled with restaurants. There's tons of stuff to walk around and see. And like I had a friend who lived in Wrigleyville for a while. So like we'd go to his
Okay.
house or his apartment, not his house. And then like just walk down the street and see if we could scalp tickets. Once again, 2010, 2011, 2012. I don't know how that
Right.
works anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think my wife has gone ahead and purchased tickets for that show, for that game, because
Yeah.
it's 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like we're going to Pittsburgh, so we're gonna try to catch. I think it's the Reds are playing in
Okay.
Pittsburgh, and then we're not gonna see the Reds in Cincinnati because they're not home when
Yeah.
we're in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's cool. I think it's really fun to like whenever your kids get into something to be like, you know what? It's summer. This is our time to do a vacation. Let's figure out something. And like going to like, I live in Denver. So like the Rockies aren't that good of a team, but like it's always fun to go to a
sure.
Rockies game because it's
Oh
an event
yeah,
and it's baseball's such a chill environment to be a part of from my experience with it.
yeah, absolutely. And there's so many of the newer stadiums have like a kid friendly fan
Yes.
fest to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. For like playing shows and stuff, like how's that work with you? Like being a dad, do you try to like and working? Do you try to plan them more for like the summer? Are you still playing shows like while you're still working a job? While you're still like working a school schedule?
So we try to keep it pretty local, like on a
Yeah,
weekend, and we haven't done too much where it's like overwhelming and we're not seeing our families.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, we kind of reserve the kind of extended time for the summer.
okay,
um, and kind of building it around each of our summer vacations. Chris's wife, our bass player's wife, is also a teacher, so we're all kind of like staggering the weeks that we take,
hmm,
and then being able to kind of like converge. I think end of July we have like a weekend, and then middle of August or maybe end of August before we all go back to school.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
How's it to get back on stage and play for people again? What's it like to get back in tune with that energy? Because it's a very distinct energy to get in front of people, have people cheering and sing along the songs. How's it feel to get back into that?
Yeah, it's not so I teach preschool, and I've
Oh,
taught
cool.
like preschool, so there's very much a performance aspect to
Yes.
that. Um and yeah, some of the terminology, I can call people silly goose from the stage. Um and I think it usually works.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
I've talked to a couple of people who there's a guy named he goes by like the stage name of Mr. Jeff. He does kids
Okay.
music. He's based out of Ohio. And I was like, okay, besides doing kids music, what do you do? And he was like, well, I do like a wedding cover band because it pays pretty well. I was like, what's it
Right.
like going from playing for kids to playing for drunk adults? And he was like,
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say this. It's not that different sometimes.
It's not that different. Nope, absolutely. The attention span, yeah, for sure.
Yep. You said, let's
Yeah.
jump. Let's all jump. And everyone's like, yeah, jumping's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Right. Yep.
Um, as far as like new music goes, did you guys release a new album? I want to make sure you have a chance to talk about like new music you just put out and everything. Have you
Thank
put out
you.
new music
Yeah.
recently?
So yeah, we've dropped 2 singles from an EP that's going to come out later this summer.
Hmm.
We back in January we released "Something Sweeter," which is the first single off of the EP,
Hmm.
and then in April we released "Ugly Comes Out," and they're kind of sister songs.
Hmm.
Like when I wrote those songs, I dreamed of them being two sides of a 7-inch.
Yeah.
Um, and they're actually relationally based, about someone who, you really had a thing for,
Hmm.
and then the other side is like having been in a relationship with that person and seeing someone's true colors.
Yeah.
Um, and our social media has talked about it a little bit, but it was intended to be a 7-inch, but when we had this opportunity to record an EP, we decided to put it on the EP.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's 3 other songs that are going to join the EP, that are going to come out with the EP in July 24th.
Sweet. How's it? I feel
Yeah.
like releasing music now is such a different game also, where it was like you record the songs, yeah, no, you release a single, then you release the EP. Now it's like a waterfall. Like there's all these different terms now for releasing music where I'm just like, I just don't, but it's so freaking hard for people to find your music and creative work that I'm just like, it's such a different game. It's got to be exhausting at the same time.
It's so tricky, and I think, because we're of a certain age,
Yeah.
like, we haven't really taken to social media the
Yeah.
way we probably should, or the way that people say you should in this day,
Yep.
and age. So it's a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
Um, the label that we're going with is called Manicat Records,
Hmm.
and they're very much into like the kind of the old 2000s, late 90s, like punk and emo
Yeah.
aesthetic, and kind of just principles of putting out like copies of music, putting out CDs, putting
Yeah.
out vinyl, and they will still go digital, but they understand that social media isn't going to be our foot in the door.
Yeah.
Like they have a couple acts who are a bit younger, and like they're constantly on there, and props to them because
Yeah.
social media is a full-time job.
It's a full-time
You know,
job.
yeah, and not only is it a full-time job, but you kind of need somebody to have a full-time job documenting you,
Hmm.
because like if you're going about your day, it's hard to do the selfie thing.
Hmm.
um and then on top of that, you have to edit and do all that fun stuff and post. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's tricky.
It is. I'm with you. And I'm like, I'm always just like, I don't know, man. From speaking from a podcast standpoint, it's like, I think if you find this, you'll like it a lot. And that's all I really know. I'm sure you feel the same for your music. It's like, hey, I'm really proud of
Yeah,
this. And like, if you find this music, hopefully you like it a lot. And
right,
the algorithm gods, please shine upon me today is basically the
right,
prayer I offer every day.
absolutely, yeah. And if it doesn't, it was fun to do. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But it is, it's a very different game. And yeah, I know like people have like Substacks to promote it, or they'll do Substacks to do like the demos for the song and like all that. And I'm just like, if you're creating a community and people feel part of the community, that's awesome. That's great. It's real freaking hard these days.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think, the only way that we knew how to do it back then was to just be on the road,
Yeah.
200 dates a year.
Yep.
So, we try to make a thing of it. If we play a show, like we're there, you know, from like as early as you can be there till closing,
Yeah.
and like we try to hang out with as many people as we can, in that time. But it's, cause as much as you can be on socials, there is an essence missing, right?
Yeah. There
In the
is.
connection.
There's,
Yeah.
yep. Or yeah, what's the best way to put this? It's I know a lot of musicians who will do the video that's basically like, hey, I'm about to post a good video of me playing guitar because I want the algorithm to like me. Please know that
Right.
like just listen, like I would love for you to listen to my music and connect with it. And here's me being honest about like, here's the game I have to play. So like seriously,
Totally.
if you can buy a vinyl, if you can come out to a show, seriously, please
Mhm.
do. Because this is
Right.
how like I'm not even doing this because it's fun. I'm doing it because if I don't, the algorithm hides everything.
Oh
So
yeah.
like so just please notice me. And I hate whenever I have to live into the energy that's like, please just notice I exist. It's like, well, that's not a version of myself I want to be, but it's a game you got to play.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
So it's all fun. Um, okay, I'll probably start wrapping up. How I end every episode is ask every guest a series of 5 questions. They're pretty chill, and you have time to think about them.
Awesome.
Cool. So for the first question, this one I'm actually always fascinated to ask people who adopted their kid. Did you have any backup names for your kid? Or like what was the story of naming your child whenever you met him in the hospital before you took him home?
Yeah. I was messing around with sounds and letters, and we had hoped to adopt anybody.
Hmm.
It was going to be either a girl or a boy. And we had the name Elizabeth
Hmm.
picked out for a girl, and we're both Christians
Hmm.
and have studied the Bible quite a bit. And so we wanted the name of a prophet for the boy. We took Elizabeth from Jesus's birth story, his
Hmm.
aunt. Um, and then we were looking at Hezekiah or Ezra.
Mhm.
as major prophets and priests in the Bible, and we settled on Ezra. And when we met
Nice.
him, we were like, "You are Ezra,
Yeah.
absolutely."
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
of all the prophet names, Ezra is the one that doesn't make people question if you're part of an Amish commune, Like
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Jedediah being one of them.
Jedediah. I feel like Habakkuk, like there's
Oh
so many
yeah.
where you're just like, I can't even tell you what happens in this Old Testament book, but here you
Right.
are being named
Yes.
after it.
Absolutely.
Ezra's an awesome name. I feel like it's I've met a couple Ezras now, and I'm like, oh, this is a cool name. So well done.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, Next question: do you have a favorite TV or movie dad, or one that comes to mind whenever asked that question?
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good. That is a great question. I feel like when I pictured myself as a dad as a kid, I always thought I'd be a cool dad. I
Hmm.
always thought I'd be like Danny Tanner or, um, who was the dad from Boy Meets World?
Oh, I can't
But
think of it. Yeah.
yeah, you know, um, that guy. Or but now as I realize I'm a little bit like more strict. I'm more
Uh huh.
like the dad from the Wonder Years.
Yep.
Um, you know,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. And now that my kid's getting older too, it's like, am I more like the dad from that '70s show who's just like,
Yeah.
I can't believe you're this dumb, sometimes.
Yep. It
Yeah.
is. Red Foreman is like, I feel like Red Foreman's the type of TV dad where like, I don't want to relate to how he parented, but I'm
Right.
totally relating to how he parented. Just being like,
Right.
why are you being such an idiot? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, but sometimes you do need to hear that you're being an idiot. So I'm trying to love him. That's what I'm trying to
Right.
do.
Right. Absolutely.
That's all. I bet most dads go through that journey though. Of like, I'm going to be cool. I'm not going to have any rules. And then you're like, well, I want you to be a decent person. So I have to set up boundaries and bear and like things for you to like live within. And then you're like, oh, well, definition of a cool dad is a cool dad. He's cool with everything. Nothing matters. And it's like,
Right.
that's an
Yeah.
awful father. So
Yeah. Yeah. Too permissible.
too permissible, man. I mean, yep, pretty much. Um, Next question. Since you're a pre-K teacher, also, this will be a fun one. What's your replacement curse word? What do you say instead of cursing whenever you get really mad or like you stub your toe or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I think my son has picked up on this. Biscuits is one of them.
Biscuits is good.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel so Ned Flandersy, but it's got to be biscuits. Yeah.
Oakley dokley. It's also
Yeah.
like in Bluey, it's the like replacement curse word in Bluey. They say, oh, biscuits all the time, which I think your son is too old for Bluey.
Right.
But trust me, biscuits is a consistent answer for this because of people saying, biscuits.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Um, Next question. What's like one of your favorite activities or like toys that you do with your son?
So recently, this Christmas, he got Tetris board game,
Yeah.
which I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
I've seen like the backyard kind of rocking one, but this is like pretty much a grid and you
Mm-hmm.
drop the tiles in. That's been really fun, and it's been really cool to see his creativity and kind of working that out. We also just, he's such a baseball kid. We love just throwing the ball around, and
Yeah.
my favorite prompts of his growing up was like, "Hey, Dad, can you do what they do on the baseball like program?" And I'm like, "What is that?" He's like, just like talk baseball really fast." So he gets me to like be the commentator.
That's
And like,
amazing.
yeah, it's really fun.
I'm like, here's Ezra's windup. He's walking up to the mound. Here he is. He looks
Right.
off the first baseman. Like that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love whenever like those moments happen because it's like your kid creating a role for you to play in a game. And I feel like whenever a kid is like, play with me, I'm like, what is that? Like how I don't know. And like whenever they're
Right.
like be the commentator for the game, I'm like, oh, I got this character. Let's do this.
Yeah. Let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I try to do my best, Bob Euchre, but I don't really have it.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Or like, and even trying to do like a Harry Carey voice is just offensive to the memory of Harry Carey.
Right. Rest in power.
Rest in power, man.
Yeah.
And then last question. What's like, if you had to give someone parenting advice or like advice about being a dad or anything like that, what's like a reflection you'd want to communicate to them or something you'd want to tell them?
Take it easy. Like, it's not that serious,
Yeah.
I think, because often I find myself being like, wait, it really is serious. Maybe I should be taking it more seriously. But he's turning out all right,
Yeah.
even if, I let it slack.
It's easy to overanalyze your day-to-day actions. It's easy to overanalyze and be like, well, if I was a little more buttoned up here, so if I was a little tighter here, and it's like, your kid's fine. Calm it down.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Turned
That's
into be a
awesome.
pretty good dude. Yeah.
That's cool. But is he also a Mets fan though?
He is, which I've apologized to him about. It's like you were born into it, just the same way I'm a Liverpool fan,
Oh,
married
man.
into it.
But at least Liverpool knows how to win. That's the,
Yeah.
so that's, when was the last time, when was the last time the Mets won a World Series?
Not since 1986.
Yeah. Yeah. You've been in
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 since, a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Lost to the Yankees and lost to the Royals.
Yep.
So, yeah, but I mean that's typical Mets fashion from my lifetime.
Yes. Are you guys excited for the Knicks? Because isn't the final start or did that game already start? Man, I haven't even looked at it yet. I got to get up on that.
I think it just started, and we are excited. It's been since. So in my memory, it's we had 93 or 94, and then we had 99.
Yeah.
I was a big Knicks fan in 93, 94. You had to be if you were gonna rival Michael Jordan, and
Yeah.
So I think it's just been Payne there too, and they wear the orange and blue as well. So I've tried not to share the Knicks fandom with him because I don't want him to be too downtrodden.
Yep. I'm originally from Indiana, so last year watching the Pacers was one of the most ridiculous and heartbreaking, devastating things I've ever watched in my life. So I'm just going to say that seeing how the Pacers beat the Knicks the last 2 years in the postseason, this has to be your year. Wemby is a monster, but if you guys don't do it this year, I worry if you'll ever be able to do it. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, the Spurs deserve to be here. That's been hard fought, but I don't know. The Knicks have something this year. They do put their foot on the gas and hopefully keep it on the gas.
Yeah. And honestly, for Mike Brown to finally win a championship as a head coach, dude has put in the work. I would love to see him actually get a championship.
Yeah, he deserves it.
He does. Anyway, besides Knicks basketball and stuff, last thing is just moment for self-promotion. So if we want to find your music, Instagram, anything like that, just do some self-promotion, more than you already have,
Yeah, thanks. We are on the socials. It's at Tokyo Rose NJ. There have been, I want to say, a dozen Tokyo Roses throughout history of music and recorded audio. So we are not the first, but so to kind of define and distinguish ourselves, we've been Tokyo Rose and Jay for most of the band's life. So we're just that on the socials, Insta, on YouTube, on TikTok, which we don't frequent, but we will post from there. We've done we've done a good amount of podcasts. Thanks to everybody for listening. Yeah. Riverside's such a fantastic platform
easy.
too.
It's so convenient. Thanks for sharing your story with me. Thanks for letting me talk to you about fatherhood, music, creativity, and all that.
Dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we got to do it because I know it was timing and everything. Yeah.
I just heard my family walk back in from the playground, so I'm going to go see what chaos awaits me upstairs.
Cool, man. Devin, thank you so much.
Dude, thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never Efface Network. Make sure to go to nevereffacenetwork.com to learn more about them.